On today's episode, Sn0wy talks about the rise of Vaporwave and what makes it so special, alongside its themes of escapism and dystopian worlds. As well, watch as Sn0wy and the male girl are transported to a mysterious VHS world through a weird portal summoned by Sn0wy. Have I said Sn0wy's name enough yet? Yes, I have. All this and more coming up now.
Also, if you're just here for the essay and you don't care for any of this, here's a timestamp because it's a pretty lengthy intro, so, you're welcome.
These are the stories of three roommates, Sn0wy, Twig and Ruby. They share a house with their weird landlord Wallace. Watch as these three losers try to make a living off their adventures through this mysterious door. Ooh, spooky.
What are you doing?
Oh, just waiting for a package to arrive.
The one with all the stock footage and collaborator clips?
Yeah.
Why'd you even make them recorded on a VHS?
To fit in with the Vaporwave aesthetic?
What you up to?
Sn0wy's just being weird, sitting in front of the door and waiting for a package.
Oh, really? I think he just wants to see that cute male girl again.
Not true!
Wait, are you talking about that Cyclops chick?
Mm-hmm. Looks like Sn0wy's got a thing for her.
Shut up!
Package for Sn0wy.
That's me.
Could you just sign this?
Yeah, for sure.
What's the package for?
Oh, just some footage for a video we're working on.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. So, I see you around a lot, you know, and I've never really gotten your name.
Oh, my name is Clementine. Nice to meet you. Well, I need to get going now, but it was nice seeing you.
You as well. Have a great day.
What are you doing?
What do you mean?
Go get her number or ask her out or something.
What?
Hurry, she's about to leave.
Wait! I'm coming down! Are you okay?
Ugh, what happened?
I honestly have no idea. I am so sorry. I think we're in some sort of 80s world?
Is your package alright?
Yeah, seems so. Shoot!
What?
This would be the perfect place to film my video.
Ooh, was this the kind of stock footage you were looking for?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, how are we going to get out of here?
No idea. But hey, let's figure that out after this video is finished.
Alright, I can just explain that I got lost or took the day off or something along those lines. I'll just sit here and watch.
Sure thing. You know, I wonder what Twig and Ruby are doing right now.
Where did they go?
Vaporwave has always been something I'd hear about now and then, but never really dove into it. I listened to all of Floral Shop, and I really enjoyed it, but I guess I never really saw Vaporwave past being just a meme. Don't get me wrong, it's still very much a joke. But my perception changed of the whole genre completely the first time I listened to Blank Banshee's Zero. Throughout all my life, I had listened to countless songs and albums and projects, but for the first time I was hit with a feeling of something unworldly, something I never expected to feel. I was genuinely at a loss of words. The night I finished the album, I told my friend all about it, and I would constantly listen to Zero for months. This is where my love for Vaporwave came from. It was the first media of any kind that truly engrossed me into its world. It was the first time I truly felt escapism. I believe Vaporwave is by far one of the most interesting things to come out of this generation. There's never really been anything like it before. It's truly the first internet-made genre, and that has allowed it to flourish in many ways never possible before. Most of the artists are anonymous and have no presence offline. It only exists on the internet and grew purely from word of mouth, with websites like Bandcamp and SoundCloud. The genre paints these distant worlds in the listeners' minds, drowning them in consumeristic culture from the 70s, 80s, and 90s, but repurposing those things to create both a celebration and critique of capitalism. It paints a world gone numb to advertising and the empty feeling to come out of a cycle of buying and scrapping products. Honestly, it's just fascinating. But if you want a more dumbed down and less pretentious version of what I just said, basically the 80s and 90s were pretty cool, and the internet collectively made a genre around the consumeristic things from these times, like elevator music, old advertisements, and early internet artwork you might have found hung on the wall of a teacher's classroom in the 90s. But why? Like why and how did this all come to be? Well, basically, nostalgia. Vaporwave's use of sampling 70s to 90s R&B and smooth jazz, then reconstructing it into another song by slowly chopping and distorting the vocals and instruments, brings an old but also new kind of feeling to listeners. It's like you're listening to music from this glorified point in time that didn't exist. To understand how this style actually came to be, because it's kind of an interesting story, let's take a look back and see just how Vaporwave got to the point of where it is today. I think most people would agree that it all started with Daniel Lopatin and his creation under the name Chuck Person, Echo Jams Volume 1, released on August 8th, 2010. This album practically pioneered the aesthetic and sound of Vaporwave. It pitch shifted and looped many different samples from the 80s to create this ethereal dream world lost in time. And through all of this, the album was made as nothing more than just a simple joke. Yet Lopatin was soon to learn that he just started something really big. October 25th, 2011, James Ferrero releases Farside Virtual. This album was a lot more upbeat than the more lo-fi and dreamy sounds of Echo Jams. It was meant to capture a sound that was retro futuristic. It's filled with outdated sounds and cheesy instruments and feels almost utopian. But fun fact, this album actually just started as a bunch of ringtones. Wow, Snowy, this is a lot of deep thinking about some ringtone. This alongside Echo Jams inspired an album that would forever change the internet. December 9th, 2011 marked the release of Macintosh Plus Floral Shop. This album was made actually by another creator with a different pseudonym, Vectroid. It had many similar themes that Echo Jams did, such as the chopped and sliced sections that were looped, though I must say, much less than that album. It had the iconic slowed down and pitch shifted vocals, the ethereal sound of instruments. It was just the definition of a Vaporwave album. And once the internet got a hold of it, oh, there was no going back. Through this, Vaporwave grew at an alarming rate, both as a subgenre and just in relevancy. Subgenres like Vapor Trap, VHS Pop, Future Funk, and just Mall Stop grew, each of which had classic after classic come out. Blank Banshee's Zeros I mentioned earlier, Surfing's Deep Fantasy, St. Pepsi's Hit Vibes, and Disconscious's Hologram Plaza. Ooh, 2012 and 2013 were massive years for this genre. Then in 2015, just as it seemed like Vaporwave was gonna die, another legendary Vaporwave album, Birth of a New Day, is dropped by 2814 or 2814, 2814, whatever floats your boat. This being a more ambient record, which brought some more life to Vaporwave with
Albums like
The Path of Ethos, and finally Vaporwave is Dead with its hard vapor approach. I get it, there's many more albums, just hold off on your comments, okay? We're getting to some of those later on. The reason I bring this up is each subgenre really takes you to a different place. Each has its own set of visuals as a basis. Yet through all of Vaporwave, there's this consistent theme of consumerism. It might sound like a, yeah, what are we, freaking stupid kind of statement, but let me explain. Take an album like Bay by Young Bay. I imagine a night out with my friends through the city. The flashing neon lights, energy levels are high, just enjoying each other's company. Then take an album like Yes, We're Open by Groceries, and I feel like I'm in an abandoned shopping mall. Yet, between both of these completely opposite places, I still feel like I'm in this 80s euphoric world that's slowly decaying as time passes. And I find that's the charm with the visuals as well. A lot of them are based around this time before the internet was cynical and edgy. It was this point in time that was almost magical in a way, with technology growing at a rapid pace, the crappy CG and early 3D clip art, just people in the 90s trying so hard to be futuristic and how it's nothing like today, gives that point in time this whole odd, abandoned aesthetic that really fits with the whole genre. We've moved on to bigger and better things in technology, while the clunkier and tackier aesthetics from the past stay in the past. It's an art style and a vibe that couldn't have been captured even 50 years ago. Okay, now don't get me wrong, I love the internet how it is now and how we've moved in technology. I love it. It's great. But sometimes it's also nice just to see it in a light where it was just a little more friendly and just a little more magical, with the lack of professionality and just a more fun and out there look. Vaporwave captures a time a lot of us grew up in and takes us to a world that we can view in the same way we saw the world when we were younger. I know it sounds weird, but I don't know, it just sounds right to say. It takes us to a place that's a lot more innocent and less pessimistic and tearing down one another. Yet, just like our memories of the times past, the music is also decaying, as if time itself is just getting at it.
You're doing so well!
Aw, thank you.
Also, while you were talking, I found an old VCR. I didn't want to tell you and interrupt you there.
Oh, why don't you open up the package and put in one of the VHS tapes and see what it does?
Sure thing, Chief.
And while she does that, I think that would be a great time to go a little more in depth into a few of the subgenres and their aesthetics. As you can tell, Vaporwave is a genre filled with different worlds, each of which we can just visit through listening to different subgenres. And yet through it all, it still feels like the same universe. Vaporwave is genuinely one of the most interesting things to come out of this generation, and for good reason. It's weird, abstract, very ironic, but brilliant in its own way. There is still so much to be talked about with Vaporwave as a whole, so I'll leave a little playlist in the description of great videos on the subject, as well as the people who are in this video. If you ever just feel like you need to get away from reality, try and pop on a Vaporwave album, because who knows where it'll take you. All we know is, it's far away from here. Where is Sn0wy? Look, I'm just as uncomfortable as you guys, but this is really urgent. Where is he?
I don't know.
We just saw the male girl fall into some weird hole and Sn0wy jumped in after her.
Wait, did you say hole?
Yeah.
In the Imagisphere, all the planets are connected through portals. These portals are mostly doors, but there's a rare few out there that are holes. Holy shit.
Well, we can trace our footsteps back and see how we got into this situation to begin with.
You mean recreate what happened to see if we can get out?
Precisely.
Alright, so I was maybe running after you, I'd say, about here.
And I was walking to the door.
And I was running as fast as I could.
Wait, what were you trying to tell me?
And then I tripped out. Oh.
Oh, thank goodness you two are safe.
And we finished the video.
Wow, you've certainly got a one-track mind.
Wallace? You're certainly something special, kid. Thanks? Just be careful, alright? Yeah, sure thing. You know, I used to be like you once, till I learned the world wasn't just black and white.
What was that all about?
That's just our weird landlord, Wallace.
Oh, I see. Well, I better get going. Huh?
Hey, I was gonna ask you if maybe you'd like to go out sometime? Maybe grab a cup of coffee or something? Get to know you a little more past just the male girl?
I'd love to.
Aw, look at you.
Took you long enough.
Shut up! I don't get it. How do you summon a portal out of thin air?
Okay, calm down.
But I can't wrap my head around it. How is it even possible?
Deep breath 7. Didn't you say you made them?
Yeah,
Can't you just control them then?
not exactly. They're their own people.
I'm sorry, I don't follow.
Say I create a puppy. I can give it certain personality traits, like maybe it's very lazy. Once it's been made into something physical, I can't suddenly make the puppy energetic. It becomes its own living, breathing creature.
Ah, and you were able to create Sn0wy and his roommates because it's your imagination, hence your planet in the Imagisphere.
Wow, I'm actually surprised you remembered that.
I don't forget things, kid. But why?
Huh?
What drew you to make 3 of them? You seem to be doing fine creating things on your own.
Well, I was doing fine before, you know.
The murder?
Yeah.
But why make Sn0wy, Twig, and Ruby?
Well, Sn0wy is who I wish I could be right now. Innocent, honest, just a clean slate. The kid is literally black and white because he doesn't have anything to hide. And I wish more than anything I could be that way. Twig is like this mother figure, a moral compass. She makes everybody feel like family and would be there for anyone who needs it. She's the kind person I wish I could have around in the real world if I wasn't so distant with everybody. And then there's Ruby. She's based around the girl I loved and how she'd be after everything went down between us. Cynical, bitter, borderline criminal at points, but deep down, I'd still hope, even if just a little, that she cares about her friends more than she likes to lead on. She's what I wish I could have back, even if it's not exactly what I lost.
I see. But doesn't all of this take a toll on you?
What, keeping all this information from them? Yeah. A while back it seemed like one of them even went through my stuff, whether they did or not. I'm constantly paranoid of them finding out who I really am and that I made them and all this.
But why?
I don't know, I'm just scared. I'm scared of change, and I'm scared of how they'll treat me if they find out about all this.
Look, kid, I think a lot of this worrying is just your own doing. Nothing can stay the same forever, and just hiding things to prevent change is only going to wear you down. Which is why you're here in the first place. You're going to need to get over this fear and come clean to the people around you. Or one day, somebody will learn something they shouldn't have, and from that point on, things will only get worse.
You're hiding something from us, aren't you? Look, I might not know what it is, but if my friends get hurt because of it, I'll make it my #1 goal to inflict the damage you do to them back onto you and 5 times harder. You got that, Evan?